Hello there, and once again, welcome to this episode of Happy Birthday Wellness Quiz, your health promotion and disease prevention blog brought to you by Kike Afia. My name is Subiri Ogogo. I'm a medical doctor and specialist in public health medicine. I'm going to discuss 7 cholesterol myths that you're probably not aware of. Before I start, I'm going to share a short quiz for which I will give the answer at the end. So the question is, cholesterol is found in which foods? A. Meat, egg yolks, fish, poultry and dairy products. B. Vegetable oil, margarine and nuts. C. Tofu, carrots and vegetable oil. Or D. None of the above. So this is a very important topic. Many people have a good reason to worry about cholesterol. The World Health Organization estimates that raised cholesterol causes 2.6 million deaths globally every year, and that's about 4.5% of total deaths. In many countries like the US, a third of the population has raised blood cholesterol, which increases their risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden deaths. Remember also, there is no way you can know whether your cholesterol is raised or not unless your blood is taken for what you call the lipid panel tests. If you are above 20 years, you need to start checking on your cholesterol levels. However, there's so much misunderstanding about cholesterol, and that's what I'll be discussing today. The first misconception is that all cholesterol is bad. Now, animals, including humans, make cholesterol to perform a host of important functions in the body, such as making sex hormones, converting sunlight into vitamin D, and as well as forming part of cell membrane integrity. So although excess cholesterol is bad for your health, you require some for various body functions. The second misconception is that only men get high cholesterol. Of course, below 50 years, men tend to have a higher cholesterol level than women, but this reverses after 50 years when women enter menopause. The other misconception is that only animal sources of foods can raise your blood cholesterol. Now, it's true that cholesterol is found only in animal sources of food such as meat, poultry, fish, and dairy products like meat, cheese, and yogurt. However, the amount of cholesterol in your food does not necessarily translate into the amount of cholesterol in the body. Majority of the cholesterol in your blood, 85%, is actually made by the liver, and only about 15% comes from what we eat. The fourth misconception is that eating fatty foods will increase your weight as well as increase your blood cholesterol. Of course, cholesterol is a type of fat, but fat consumed in the right proportion to carbohydrates and proteins is beneficial because it protects internal organs, maintains cell membrane integrity, promotes growth and development, and aids in the absorption of essential vitamins such as vitamin A, D, E, and K. In addition, fats help you feel full faster, and therefore you tend to eat less. According to the Institute of Medicine, carbohydrates should constitute the majority of nutrients in a balanced diet, followed by proteins and fats at 55%, 30%, and 25% respectively. However, it's good to remember that not all fats are created equal. You need to choose what you call the heart-healthy unsaturated fats over saturated fats and trans fats. The fifth misconception is that animal sources of protein such as fatty meat, eggs, chicken, and milk are responsible for high cholesterol in the body. Now, eating animal sources of foods that contain a lot of cholesterol does not necessarily translate into high blood cholesterol. As I mentioned, most of the cholesterol in the blood is made by the liver, about 85%, and only 15% comes from what you eat. The problem is consuming foods that are high in cholesterol as well as high in saturated fats and trans fats. The other misconception is that plant-based diets, including vegetable oils, are cholesterol-free. Now, this is a gimmick that very many manufacturers use. If you buy most of vegetable oils and fat, you will see they've written there cholesterol-free. Now, that is misleading. Although plants don't make cholesterol, and although most dietary cholesterol comes from eating animal products, consuming excess amounts of saturated fats, which is found in vegetable oils and fats, will raise your blood cholesterol. So remember, when you talk about cholesterol within the context of heart health, we are interested in the LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and the HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol made by the liver. Now remember, consuming saturated fats and trans fats will increase these two, will increase the bad cholesterol LDL while reducing the good cholesterol HDL, and that is what will predispose you to heart disease. Finally, this final saturated fats should be replaced with carbs to reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes. The evidence suggests that replacing saturated fats with polyunsaturated fats is what reduces your heart disease risk. Whereas if you replace saturated fats with carbohydrates, particularly refined carbohydrates and sugar, that will increase your level of another type of fat called triglycerides, which also predisposes you to heart attacks, strokes, and sudden death. So remember, opt for the unsaturated fats. Now, the best way to limit your intake of saturated fats and trans fats, I said first, is to limit your intake of animal sources of foods that contain high amounts of saturated fats. Include things like meat, dairy products, as well as fatty portions of chicken. You also need to limit your intake of vegetable oil and fats, and the best way is to look at the nutrition facts label. Now, a typical nutrition facts label for oils and fats looks like what you have here. Now, what we are interested mostly here is total fat. Usually they give you total fat per 100 grams. So you can see here saturated fats are 43. Now this is what I mentioned, this is quite high. This is what increases your level of bad cholesterol LDL. The good cholesterol are usually the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Now these are the healthy one, but remember this is one product. And then trans fats, usually you will see them indicating less than 5%. Anything above 1% is too much. So this should be either 0 or 1%. In fact, in many countries, trans fats are actually banned from vegetable oils and fats. As I mentioned, some will tell you that the cholesterol is 0, but this is not true, because as I mentioned, if you consume saturated fats, more than 15 grams per day, that will tend to increase your level of bad cholesterol LDL and reduce your good cholesterol HDL. Also, avoid anything labeled vegetable shortening, partially hydrogenated, even if the label claims that trans fats are 0. So anything called vegetable shortening or partially hydrogenated means that it has trans fats. Remember, trans fats are even worse than saturated fats, because apart from lowering apart from increasing the bad cholesterol LDL, trans fats will also decrease your good cholesterol HDL. So thank you very much for listening. I'll go to the quiz now. The question was asking, cholesterol is found in which foods? The answer is A. Cholesterol is found in all foods from animal sources such as meat, egg yolk, fish, poultry, and dairy products. There is no cholesterol in plant-based foods such as vegetable oil, margarine, nuts, tofu, or carrots. However, remember, as I mentioned, when you talk about cholesterol with regard to heart health, we are more interested in the LDL cholesterol, the bad one, and HDL cholesterol. And consuming high amounts of saturated fats, vegetable oils, margarines, which contain saturated fats and trans fats, will lower your good cholesterol HDL and increase your bad cholesterol LDL, and that will increase your risk of heart attacks and stroke. The maximum limit I said is 15 grams per day, which is about 2 tablespoons of butter. So thank you very much for listening. This vlog was brought to you by Kike Afya. My name is Bidi Ogogo, a medical doctor and specialist in public health medicine. You can support us by subscribing to my YouTube channel. I will put the link in the video below. For more information, you can visit the website. Now, that's enough for today. Until next time, bye-bye.